I have Jeremy Martin, a member of our professional advisory board with us from sunny British Columbia, Canada. Does the sun ever shine in Vancouver in the winter?
It did last week, and people didn't know what to do with themselves, but
Was it
it
a big news
quickly,
day that day?
it was huge. That's all you'd run into someone on the street and they go, "Hey, how about that weather?" And that's what everybody's talking about. But there was a quick reality check, and we're back to the rain and sleet of
Of course.
yeah.
Jeremy, it's that time of year. We've got guys, and I've had some guys contact me and ask me already because they've gotten themselves into trouble. They dive in, they're a little bit aggressive, they're really, really exuberant, excited. They go in there, and the thing is they can do the workout, so they're knocking out these amazing workouts, and then they can't, the next day they're sore, the day after they can't even move. They can't get out of
Right,
bed, they can't go to the bathroom, they can't anything.
right.
When you get yourself in that predicament, and we all have done that at some time or another, what's the best way to deal with that without just stopping and doing nothing,
Right.
and without doing something and hurting yourself further? Can you explain a little bit what's going on at that
Yeah.
point when you're so sore, what the soreness is from, and then also what you recommend to combat that soreness and get yourself back moving around again?
Yeah. So when people are experiencing soreness, one of the terms that's used very commonly in my field is DOMS, DOMS, and just stands for delayed onset muscle soreness. And that's why you can finish a hard workout and feel great. You might even feel okay the next day, but 24 to 48 hours later, all of a sudden your legs are made of concrete or you can't straighten your arm fully. Um, and I
Yes.
think we've all been there. Yeah. And,
That's why I'm sitting in this chair right now.
exactly. Yeah. Me too. So it's a sign that you've done something right in the sense that without those small amounts of damage that you're basically causing to your muscle by training, you would never see the results that you get. So gaining strength or gaining muscle size, size especially is a big product of damaging sets. So those 8 to 10 to 12 reps where you feel the pump, you're sore right after, and then you're sore for days on end after, sometimes at least it seems like. And that's all it is. It's micro tears. It's a little bit of damage. And when you're sore, your body's basically recovering, and it's building itself back bigger and or stronger. But it needs to protect itself from any further damage while that is happening.
But now you got a guy like, okay, and it's happened, where, okay, now I got to go to work.
Right.
So you can take, I've done the aspirins or the Advil thing, but, that doesn't even help. What do you recommend? Is it, I've done Epsom salt baths. I've done all sorts of
Yep.
things, and I've tried some other things. And I know you and I talked about this, but tell me what
Yeah.
you recommend when you get
So
yourself in that predicament.
one of my biggest recommendations, and it seems somewhat counterintuitive to some people, but is basically exercising. And then that doesn't mean that, the squats really killed you, so go back and do more squats. It means if your legs are sore, then maybe you hop on a spin bike for 20 to 30 minutes at a really light intensity, but you're getting your blood flowing, you're putting on a bit of a sweat, and what you'll notice is even within the first 10, maybe 5 minutes, your soreness starts to reduce. And in general, it lends itself to less soreness in the long run as well.
Okay. Now, you had told me before we had talked about that, and essentially what's happened is, what occurs is it's not unusual. It's something, like you said, that you want to happen. So minor tissue damage is part of the process. That's what you go to the gym to do.
Yeah.
But an abundance of it to the point where you can't move obviously is not reasonable, and
No,
it's not always productive.
not.
So really what we're talking about is just recovery. And so
Yes.
when you get on that bike and you're also increasing blood flow to those muscles. Is that correct?
That is it. Yeah, that is from what I've gathered, it's the biggest impact factor on that recovery and that reduction in soreness, is the increased flow of blood to the damaged area, which not only is going to warm the area and help functionally lengthen the tissue, right away, but it's going to help deliver more sort of recovery-based nutrients, oxygen, and the next thing is that it's going to help flush out all the waste products, and waste products are part of the reason why we feel sore. There's a lot that builds up within the cells of the muscle, and they need to be flushed out. And so increasing the blood flow is just going to increase those vehicles to flush that waste product out.
So would you recommend then, obviously your nutrition is important, it's recovery,
Yes.
correct? So you want to have enough protein that you're recovering, but when you're really sore like that, you're recommending that drink more water than usual maybe.
Yep. Yeah. Bring your water up, make sure your sleep is good. And make sure you're eating enough calories, make sure you're getting a solid amount of greens because they're going to help flush out some of the acidity in your muscles as well.
Gotcha.
It doesn't have to be a lot of activity, and it's going to, for lack of a better word, suck in the beginning. But it pays off, and there are plenty of different ways that you can do it. Some people will do, maybe they'll go to, if they're into martial arts, maybe they'll go to jujitsu and just do some light rolling. Right. Maybe they'll do some shadow boxing and technique work. Whatever your interest is, there are ways to do it. Myself, I'm a weightlifter. I might just go and do bar work or just do positional work, and I'll work through that for 20 minutes, trying to keep it relatively continuous so that my heart rate is up the whole time. And it's just going to have a light aerobic effect that's also going to help with your overall fitness.
And would you agree? I mean, there's many times when, I used to travel a great deal, and what I would find is when I was traveling, just doing body weight exercises, just body weight squats, body weight push-ups would help an awful lot as well. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
As long as the person is healthy enough or fit enough that those type of exercises aren't considered high intensity.
Right. Gotcha.
You don't need to, if your maximum push-ups is 10 and you're trying to do sets, then you're just going to add insult to injury on your recovery.
As always, Jeremy, very informative, and it's always great to see your smiling face beneath your beard.
Why, thank you.
Does that beard make you stronger?
It does. I shaved it once and couldn't even pick up a barbell. So
I imagine that's probably true. Thanks, Jeremy.
Thank you.